Hi, I'm Elaine Harding. Welcome to my new website at www.stampwithelaine.com. Today's fun project is this faux double box. It's a box within a box, but it's not a real box, if you get my drift. For the little tag, I used the So Sentimental stamp set, which is bundled with the Stitch So Sweetly dies. Now, this is your last chance before the end of May to get this at the bundle price saving. From next year, the next catalogue, you'll have to purchase them separately at full price. Using the Parisian Blossoms Designer Series paper, these are absolutely gorgeous. They're foiled, and this is one side and that's the reverse. For the box base, this is in Petal Pink and it's 8.5 by 6.5. In metric, that's 20.3 by 16.5 centimetres. You'll need 6 pieces of Designer Series paper from the Parisian Blossoms. Because the box is small, I chose a smallish pattern. These have been cut at 1 3/4 inches square. In metric, that is 4.4 centimetres square. You'll need 6 of those. Petal Pink ink pad, Petal Pink metallic trim ribbon, and some champagne rhinestones. Bring in my scoreboard, and with the cardstock short side on top, you score at 2 inches, 4 inches and 6 inches. I'll go through the metric in a minute. Rotate it so that the long side is on the top, and you score every 2 inches, 2, 4, 6 and 8. In metric, that will be 5, 10.2, 15.2 and 20.3. And on the short side it's 5, 10.2 and 15.2. We're going to burnish the score line so that it's easier to see. You want to orient your cardstock so that the half-inch score line is on your right and the half-inch score line is at the top. So first we're going to take away, let me get a pen, I'll use a marker. So we're going to take away this rectangle and that rectangle. So cut up to the first score line here, miter the edge on this one as well, and take up this rectangle. Now you've got your flap, half-inch flap on the left. You want to cut up to this score line here with the half-inch score line at the bottom. So you cut up to the second score line up, all along here at the bottom. Now orient your cardstock so that the tab is at the top, and you want to take out this bottom rectangle. You could use that to cut your tab. Now you can use the scissors, but I'm going to use my trimmer. So I've rotated my cardstock again so that the flap is now at the bottom, and I'm going to fold this middle flap back, line my paper up at the half-inch mark here, okay, and cut through these 2 pieces to mite the corners. This is basically going to be the bottom of the box, and that's the lid for the bottom of the box. So now I want to cut up on the 2 squares on the right from the middle, up to this score line here. Okay, bring my trimmer back Now I'm going to fold this 2 bottom squares back, line it up at the half-inch mark here on the score line, and cut through both. Now you don't have to do it with the trimmer, you could just do it freehand, but I like a neat finish, so that's why I'm using the trimmer. Your flap is still at the top. Now these 4 squares here, you need to mark the 1.5 inch mark at the intersection here. Then you can use a pencil, mark 1 inch and 1.5 inches, and these are your marks to score here to create the indentation for your box. So that's at 1.5, and I'm going to make a mark at the 1 inch mark and the 1.5 inch mark, and the same here. This will be 2.5 inches and 3. Turn it round, 1.5 inches, 1 inch. Can't see in this light. Then you'll need a piercing mat. I'm going to score diagonally between these marks here. So at the 1 inch and then the 1.5 inch. Let's rub off the pencil marks here. Now that you've scored there, you can cut up this 3rd tab, okay? And you want that also at 1/2 inch, in line with the other tabs. Then you can put tear and tape. Now comes the tricky bit. So you want to fold that back, okay, just tease it a little, and this one as well. Be careful you're not too enthusiastic, because you don't want this fold to tear. And this one you fold back towards yourself, the smaller score line, the 1 inch score line. If you put your nail there, it will bend more easily. And same here. And that one bends back. So the tab also needs to have the score line teased into shape, okay? Now, depending on whether your paper has got a pattern in one direction, so on the safe side, I usually sort of choose a paper that doesn't have any direction, or if there is one, then I'd wait until the box is assembled before you put it all together. Because these are non-directional, and there are 3 you need for the lid and the side panel, and where you have the centre score lines for the faux box, these need to be cut. So I find that if I do that, I will be less confused. So I've got to mark 1/2 inch there and 1/2 inch there. So let's get the ruler out and mark 1/2 inch, which is there, and 1/2 inch on this side. Then draw a line between the two marks. So I've made a mark 1/2 inch in this side and 1/2 inch that side, and I need to cut across the diagonal there. So I don't really want that to move. So what I'll do is make a photo corner with washi tape on opposite ends. So that's fairly secure, and then I'm going to cut across from point to point. And because it's on the underside, it's not going to show. Next, remove all the backing tape, and then you want to do this side first. So this pops out. If you do the corner like this, line that up with the base here, and gently place it down to reach the C, like so. Goes up and back. So you put your finger in there and push it out, and then all this will follow. Okay, like so. And then you can stick the box together, so that one will line up with this one, and that one will line up with this side here. Then this one will line up with this side here. It will just all fall into place. You'd be amazed how easy it goes together. So push that in, and then you've got your sharp corner here. Okay, and that's your bottom of your box, like that. So now we can start gluing our paper onto the box. So let's put the corner one in. And then, because this is the lid, you want to punch a finger hole in here. Okay, and put that in. And glue this down. So now you're ready to tie the ribbon in your box. So I give a good generous amount. And cross it over, like so. Cut it off about there. So I've crossed my ribbon over, like so. Make sure it's flat on the bottom and not twisted. It does use up a rather lot of ribbon, but if you do it this way, then you can be sure that it's going to stay. So these would make really nice wedding favours. So bunny ears, and then before you pull it tight, make sure the bow is where you want it. Oh, I better trim the ribbon. And now we can do the tag for it. Use the leftover bit from the box that you didn't need to die cut a tag, and I'm using this little one. Actually, it's better to stamp it first and then die cut. I had some pre-die cut ones to save time, and of course it doesn't save time because now I've got to do it again. So stamp it first and then die cut it. Then pop it on the dimensional and stick it on your box. And to finish, just add a little rhinestone. So they'd make great wedding favours, boxes, or maybe your husband might buy you a lovely little trinket and you can pop it in there. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial, and I'll be back with more inspiration next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.